keep the heading there, biomolecules. It comes under organic chemistry. Comes under organic chemistry. So biomolecules, it talks about living organisms. Living organisms, they can grow, sustain, and reproduce itself. And the most amazing fact about the living organisms, everyone are well aware of it. All these living organisms are made up of non-living atoms and molecules. The chemical aspects, chemical composition, structural composition can be discussed in chemistry biomolecules chapter. We will not much focus on application oriented part, right? Biological importance we will not discuss here. Biomolecules majorly includes the subtopics. Those are carbohydrates, proteins, which are made up of amino acids. So amino acids also we will discuss, and nucleic acids. Along with it, we will discuss about vitamins as well as hormones. These are the three major topics can be discussed under biomolecules. Under that, the first subtopic we are going to discuss is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. How they were used to define carbohydrates, right? In previous days, what is the old definition for carbohydrates? The old definition for carbohydrates, if you see, name indicates very clearly hydrates of carbon. Hydrates of carbon having general formula. Hydrates of carbon having general formula. That formula is CxH2O Y times. If any compound, if it satisfies this general formula, that can be considered as carbohydrate. That is the definition they were used to follow. So let us try to understand with the help of an example. We are well known of it. Glucose is an example of a carbohydrate whose molecular formula is C6H12O6. I can write this as C6H2O taken twice. So H2O taken 6 times. H2O taken 6 times. So we can write this like this also. We can write it like this also. C6H2O 6 times. So it is satisfying the general formula. CxH2O Y times. Hence, glucose is an example of a carbohydrate as it satisfying the general formula. It's fine. But when it comes to acetic acid, what is the molecular formula can be given? CH3COOH, or I can write it as C2H4O2. So C2H4O2 also I can write it as C2H2O taken twice. It is also satisfying the general formula of carbohydrates, CxH2O Y times. It is also satisfying the general formula, but acetic acid is not a carbohydrate. It is not a carbohydrate, though it is satisfying the general formula. But other carbohydrate we have, which is called as rhamnose. Having molecular formula C6H12O5. It is a carbohydrate. Rhamnose is a carbohydrate, but it is not satisfying the general formula. But still it is a carbohydrate. Acetic acid is satisfying the general formula, it's not a carbohydrate. Like that, there are so many obligations are there. There are so many obligations when we are using this general formula of carbohydrates according to old definition. Then they have changed the definition of carbohydrates. So what is the new definition can be given for carbohydrates? What is the new definition of carbohydrates? New definition of carbohydrates is optically active. Optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes are ketones. Polyhydroxy, so polyhydroxyaldehydes are ketones. Optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes are ketones are considered as carbohydrates, or you can say that such units produced are such units produced on hydrolysis. Such units produced on hydrolysis are termed as carbohydrates. Are termed as carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are those compounds, or carbohydrates are those biomolecules which are optically active. Polyhydroxyaldehydes are ketones, or such units produced on hydrolysis are considered to be taken as carbohydrates. Poly means many. Hydroxy means OH, means more than one OH group is present. Along with aldehydes or ketones, means either aldehyde, that is CHO, or ketone, that is C double bond O, or C double bond O as a functional group. If they are present as CHO as a functional group or C double bond O as a functional group, such type of compounds are taken as carbohydrates. This is the new definition what we are following now. It is the introduction part of carbohydrates. Please copy it. Next, we are going to talk about classification of carbohydrates. Classification of carbohydrates. See, carbohydrates can be classified in so many ways. We can classify the carbohydrates, children, right? So those criterion we are going to give it. Okay, that based on that particular criterion, we are going to classify the carbohydrates. That criterion also we are going to give it. Now, first criterion, that is based on functional group. Based on functional group. Based on functional group, we have two types of carbohydrates. One type is aldose, another type is ketose. Another type is ketose. So we can say that aldoses, ketoses. Aldoses means having aldehyde as a functional group. Having aldehyde as functional group. If carbohydrates are having aldehyde as functional group, such type of carbohydrates are called as aldoses. If they are having ketone as a functional group, having ketone as functional group, such type of carbohydrates are called as ketones. The best example of aldoses, simple aldose we have is glucose. And next simple ketose what we have is fructose. Even we can discuss about glucose and fructose in detail. In detailed discussion is there for glucose and fructose. Glucose is an example of aldose. Fructose is an example of a ketose. That is based on functional group we can give it. Okay. Now, second category, that is based on number of carbon atoms. Based on number of carbon atoms also, we can classify the carbohydrates. But suppose if it is having 3 carbon atoms, then it is said to be triose. What is the respective aldose and what is the respective ketose? Aldose and ketose, let's talk about it. If it is aldose, then the same triose is called as aldotriose. And the same ketose is called as ketotriose. If it is having 4 carbon atoms, then it is called as tetrose. Corresponding aldose is called as aldotetrose, and corresponding ketose is called as ketotetrose. 5 carbon carbohydrate is called pentose. It is called as aldopentose, and it is called as ketopentose. 6 carbon carbohydrate, this is called hexose. This is aldohexose. It is ketohexose. Aldotriose means 3 carbon carbohydrate, but which is having aldehyde as a functional group. The best example of aldotriose is glyceraldehyde. The best example is glyceraldehyde. And here ketotriose example is dihydroxyacetone. Dihydroxyacetone can be taken as an example for ketotriose. Is it clear for you? And here aldotetrose example is erythrose. Erythrose, and it is threose. Ketotetrose is erythrulose. It is erythrulose. Aldopentose is ribose. Ribose is a sugar which is present in nucleic acids. That is called ribose sugar. That's why we used to say ribonucleic acid, RNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. Ribose, arabinose. Arabinose. Ketopentose, if you take it, ribulose. Ribulose can be taken. And the most important category for us for our discussion is 6 carbon hexose, aldohexose. The best example is glucose. Ketohexose is fructose. Both of these are having same molecular formula because 6 carbon atoms, C6H12O6. Right? It is having C6H12O6 and it is also having C6H12O6. Both are having same molecular formula, but what is the difference in between these two? Difference is functional group. Glucose is having aldehyde functional group. Ketose is having, that is fructose is having ketone functional group. Right? So this is the classification can be given for carbohydrates based on number of carbon atoms. Criteria number 1 and 2 are over. Now criteria number 3, that is based on hydrolysis. Breaking of the compound with the help of water molecule is nothing but hydrolysis. So based on this hydrolysis, we can classify the carbohydrates into 3 types. We can classify the carbohydrates into 3 types. First type of carbohydrates are called as monosaccharides. Children, saccharides are nothing but carbohydrates as per Latin terminology. Okay. Second one we have is oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides. Third one we have is polysaccharides. So like that, based on hydrolysis, we have 3 types of carbohydrates: mono, oligo, and polysaccharides. So monosaccharides are those carbohydrates which are simple carbohydrates. These are simple carbohydrates and cannot be hydrolyzed. And cannot be hydrolyzed further. Cannot be hydrolyzed further. These type of carbohydrates are the simplest carbohydrates which cannot be hydrolyzed further. Oligo and polysaccharides, if they undergo hydrolysis, they will form monosaccharides only. Those monosaccharides furtherly they cannot undergo hydrolysis. Such type of carbohydrates are monosaccharides. Examples. Best example we have glucose, fructose, mannose, galactose. All these are examples of the monosaccharides which cannot be hydrolyzed further. Oligosaccharides on hydrolysis, for suppose if they undergo hydrolysis, can give 2 to 10 monosaccharide units. How many monosaccharide units can be obtained? 2 to 10 monosaccharide units. If it is giving 2 to 10 monosaccharide units, then such type of carbohydrates are called as oligosaccharides. Example, if you say sucrose, upon hydrolysis, sucrose will give 2 units of monosaccharide. One unit is glucose, another unit is fructose. So sucrose is a oligosaccharide, right? So similarly, you can take lactose, it's a milk sugar. Sucrose is okay, cane sugar only, lactose is milk sugar. So lactose upon hydrolysis will give glucose and galactose. Glucose and galactose. Maltose, which gives 2 glucose units. Maltose will give 2 glucose units. So all of these are giving 2 monosaccharide units. So based on that, how many units we are getting it? Based on that, how many units we are getting it, we can classify them as if it is giving 2 units of monosaccharides, disaccharides, 3 tri, 4 tetra, 5 pentasaccharides. Like that, oligosaccharides also can be furtherly divided. But for our discussion, disaccharides are very, very important. All these are examples of disaccharides. Disaccharides are those carbohydrates which can give only 2 monosaccharide units on hydrolysis. Polysaccharides in the sense on hydrolysis can give more than 10 monosaccharide units. If it is giving more than 10 monosaccharide units, such type of carbohydrates are called as polysaccharides. Example, I can take it as starch, cellulose, glycogen. All these are examples of polysaccharides. What is the general formula can be given for polysaccharides especially? Poly means many carbohydrates. General formula is C6H10O5 N times. It is the general formula of polysaccharides, and this classification is based on hydrolysis, mono, oligo, and polysaccharides. Of course, which is the important classification among all of these. Right. Please copy it. Fourth type we have is based on reducing nature. Based on reducing nature. Based on reducing nature, we can classify the carbohydrates into two types. One is reducing sugars, and another one is non-reducing sugars. Non-reducing sugars. Reducing sugars are those sugars which can reduce Benedict's and Fehling's solution. Benedict's and Fehling's solution. Non-reducing sugars are those sugars which cannot reduce, Benedict's and a failing solution. Benedict's reagent and a failing solution both are the examples of the reagents which are used to test the presence of aldehyde function group. If any compound is having aldehyde function group, that compound is going to give the positive test for Benedict's as well as failing solution, right? So reducing sugars are those sugars which can reduce the both of these solutions in the sense. Here reducing sugars in the sense all monosaccharides are examples of reducing sugars. Example, let us say glucose, it's a reducing sugar. Fructose, it is a reducing sugar. But when it comes to non-reducing sugar, where there is no free aldehyde group, if there is no free aldehyde group, if aldehyde group is involved in linkase, if aldehyde group is involved in the formation of linkase, in such cases it will not respond to the Benedict's as well as failing solution test. Such type of sugars are said to be non-reducing sugars. Sucrose, okay, raffinose, stachyose, which are not there for our discussion, but majorly sucrose is an example of non-reducing sugar. So this is another classification can be given, but another simple classification we have that is based on taste, right? So based on taste, we have two types of carbohydrates which are said to be sugars and non-sugars, right? So these are sweetless, these are sweet to taste. If they are sweet to taste, those are sugars. Let us say glucose, fructose. In this case, non-sugars, that is cellulose. It's a polysaccharide. Generally, polysaccharides are sweetless or non-sugars. Starch, it is also non-sugar or sweetless. Right? Based on the taste, also we can classify the carbohydrates into two types: sugars as well as non-sugars. Please copy it. Monosaccharides. Monosaccharides we are going to discuss. Among them, we have two monosaccharides for our discussion. One is glucose, that is aldose, and another one is ketose, fructose. So glucose is also called as dextrose. Glucose is also called as dextrose as it rotates the plane polarized light towards right side. These compounds are optically active as we have told you in the definition itself, right? So the compounds which are optically active in the sense they can rotate the plane polarized light either to the right hand side or to the left side. Yeah, if it rotates to the right side, then it is dextrorotatory. That's why glucose is an example of dextrorotatory sugar, hence it is called as dextrose. Molecular formula of glucose is C6H12O6. Then how do you prepare glucose? Preparation, if you observe it, first one, hydrolysis of cane sugar. Hydrolysis of cane sugar. Cane sugar, chemical name is sucrose. C12H22O11. If it undergo hydrolysis in the presence of an acid, it gives C6H12O6 plus C6H12O6. That means it gives glucose and fructose. Glucose and fructose it will give. Second one we have preparation, that is hydrolysis of starch. Hydrolysis of starch. Starch is an example of polysaccharide, as in what is the molecular formula I have told you? C6H10O5 n times. If it undergo hydrolysis with n molecules of water in the presence of an acid, around 393 Kelvin, right? And then it will give n moles of C6H12O6. So what does it mean? Starch is made up of glucose. Starch is made up of glucose. It's a polymer of the glucose. Starch upon hydrolysis, which gives you C6H12O6. It is the preparation method can be given. So these are the preparation methods of glucose can be given. Now the most important point here it is how to elucidate the structure of the glucose. So I can say that structural illustration of glucose. How do you illustrate the structure of the glucose? We know the molecular formula C6H12O6, how these carbons are arranged, what is the functional group, where it is located, how does it have various hydroxy groups, how it can be decided. That is nothing but structural illustration. Structural illustration of the glucose can be done by various reactions. First reaction is it's fine. First reaction is reaction with hydrogen iodide. Reaction with hydrogen iodide. So generally glucose, simple form we are taking CHOH 4 times CH2OH. If it react with HI, hydrogen iodide, it forms CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. This is nothing but N-hexane. It forms N-hexane. When we react to glucose with HI, it gives N-hexane. It indicates all carbon atoms are in glucose. All carbon atoms in glucose are in straight chain.
Sir, we can easily indicate glucose as C6H12O6. Why did you write in a form of CHOH 4 times?
So it indicates all carbon atoms in glucose are in the straight chain. So all carbon atoms are arranged in the straight chain. That you can understand with the help of reaction with the hydrogen iodide. And second one is reaction with the hydroxylamine. Reaction with the hydroxylamine. Amine is NH2. Hydroxyl is OH. Right? Glucose, whenever it reacts with the hydroxylamine, it forms a compound that is called as oxime. It forms a compound called as oxime. This reaction indicates the presence of aldehyde functional group. It indicates the presence of aldehyde functional group, children. Children, it is a characteristic reaction of aldehyde. If you take glucose, if you react it with hydroxylamine, it forms oxime. That indicates glucose is having aldehyde functional group. They got to know that glucose is having aldehyde functional group by reacting it with oxime, right? So please copy it. Anyway, that reaction with hydroxylamine as well as other reactions which can illustrate the structure of the glucose will be continued in the next session only.